Born into royalty, with the world at his feet, Prince Roy Al Said had everything: wealth, power, and status. But what happens when privilege isn't enough to escape your darkest demons? This is the story of a prince whose life was marred by scandal, addiction, and an unforgiving past that continues to haunt him. The question is, can someone like him ever find redemption? Prince Roy Al Said of Oman, a name that once commanded respect and admiration, now echoes with controversy and regret. His life, one filled with opulence and privilege, has been overshadowed by reckless choices, tragic mistakes, and personal struggles that few can truly understand. From a fatal hit-and-run accident to a series of destructive relationships, Roy's journey is a powerful reminder that no amount of wealth or status can protect you from the consequences of your actions. Let's take a closer look at the troubled life of Prince Roy, a man whose story is defined by loss, self-destruction, and the haunting question of whether he can ever redeem himself. Over a decade ago, Prince Roy Al Said's life was tragically altered by a hit-and-run accident that would forever stain his reputation. On that fateful day, Roy, under the influence of drugs, was behind the wheel when he struck a woman, leading to her death. The accident shocked not only Oman, but the entire region, as it involved a member of the royal family, a figure expected to uphold high moral standards and responsibility. The public reaction was immediate and overwhelming. The expectation for someone in Roy's position was not only to adhere to laws, but to set an example of responsibility. Yet instead of stepping forward to take accountability, the prince chose silence. There was no apology, no attempt to make amends, and no show of compassion towards the victim's grieving family. His refusal to acknowledge the tragedy or express any remorse infuriated the public and worsened the pain for those who had lost a loved one. His lack of action and empathy only deepened the wounds left by the incident, and for many, it marked the beginning of his public downfall. Prince Roy, once viewed as a figure of wealth and status, was now seen as a man consumed by his reckless actions. The fallout from this tragic event didn't end with public outrage. It began a spiral of self-destruction that Roy couldn't escape. His addiction to drugs and alcohol, already a part of his life before the accident, worsened. These personal demons, combined with his unchecked anger, created a toxic cycle that only fueled more bad decisions. His inability to face the consequences of the hit and run led to further isolation and strained relationships, setting the stage for a life defined by turmoil and missed opportunities. Now that we've seen how a single moment of recklessness set the stage for a lifetime of turmoil, let's explore how Prince Roy's addiction and anger spiraled further, leading him down a darker path of self-destruction. Prince Roy Al Said's struggles with addiction have been a constant issue throughout his life, only getting worse as time goes on. Rather than giving him relief, his drug and alcohol use has made things worse, adding to the emotional chaos he's already dealing with. Roy's history with substances is well known, with multiple incidents showing just how deep he's fallen into this destructive cycle. His temper has become a major part of who he is, and for many, being around him is like walking on eggshells, fearing that any small thing could trigger one of his outbursts. This has made it nearly impossible for him to keep any healthy, lasting relationships. Despite the support he's received from those close to him, his addiction and anger have pushed them all away. He's become isolated, trapped in a cycle of loneliness and emotional turmoil. And yet, even though his personal life is in shambles, it's not just his emotions and addiction causing him problems. Roy's lavish lifestyle is crumbling under the weight of financial issues. His dream of building a luxury compound in Muscat, Oman, is now a distant memory, left unfinished due to growing debts and poor management. He's also struggling to maintain his impressive properties, including Alderley House in England, a massive estate that serves as a reminder of his financial mismanagement. Despite all the luxury and expensive properties, Roy is drowning in unpaid bills and debts, and it's only getting worse. While his addiction and anger have led to the breakdown of his personal life, they are just one part of the larger picture. Prince Roy's lavish lifestyle, once a symbol of success, is starting to crumble under the weight of growing debts and unfinished dreams. Let's take a closer look at how his financial troubles are feeding into his ongoing struggle. Prince Roy Al Said's life, at first glance, appears to be a never-ending showcase of wealth and luxury. His grand estate, Alderley House, set in the peaceful English countryside, stands as a symbol of the riches he inherited. Similarly, his villa in Ibiza is a testament to his love for an extravagant lifestyle. These properties, rich in elegance, only add to the illusion of success and stability that Roy projects to the world. But beneath this facade, the cracks in his life are starting to show. Despite the grandeur of his estates, the prince's financial issues have begun to overshadow his once glittering world. His investments, which once signified his power and wealth, are now sources of stress and pressure. One of his most ambitious ventures, the Muscat Hills project in Oman, was meant to be a game changer, a development that would prove Roy's skills as a business mogul. But the dream has crumbled into reality as the project remains unfinished and plagued by mounting debts. The once promising venture now stands as a symbol of the prince's larger struggles, big dreams thwarted by neglect and poor decisions. The debts and financial mismanagement have cast a heavy shadow over Roy's life, leaving him in a constant battle to manage his wealth. His inability to follow through with his goals mirrors the unfinished business of his own life. Once seen as a promising royal heir, Roy is now a man fighting addiction, financial instability, and a series of failed projects. His life has become a collection of contradictions. Grand ambitions sidelined by inattention and poor choices, luxury coexisting with financial collapse, and potential lost to a spiral of mistakes. But Roy's financial troubles are just one part of the picture. His relationships have been just as messy, filled with scandal, infidelity, and turmoil. His love life and controversial marriages have only added fuel to the fire, further complicating the prince's already chaotic existence. As if the financial struggles weren't enough, Prince Roy's personal life has been marred by a series of controversial relationships and scandals. Let's dive into the tangled web of his marriages and affairs, and how they've only contributed to his downward spiral. Prince Roy's relationships, much like his public life, have been plagued by scandal and controversy. His marriage to a Scandinavian woman, which followed an unplanned pregnancy, was intended to solidify his image, but has instead been fraught with tension and turmoil. Rumours of infidelity have swirled around Roy, with the most damaging allegation being an affair with his sister-in-law. These whispers have only deepened the public's disillusionment with him, painting a picture of a man whose royal status could not shield him from the same flaws that afflict ordinary people. Adding another layer to his struggles is Roy's apparent obsession with fair-skinned women, particularly those of Scandinavian descent. This fixation goes beyond mere preference and suggests a deeper issue with self-acceptance. As an Arab prince, Roy's pursuit of women who represent a stark contrast to his own heritage speaks volumes about his internal conflict. His struggles with identity and self-worth seem to drive these relationships, which are as much about seeking validation as they are about love or companionship. This obsession reveals cracks in his psyche that reflect a troubled history with both his personal and cultural identity. While his relationships have been tainted by scandal, Prince Roy's struggles with his heritage run even deeper. As an Omani prince who does not speak Arabic, Roy is faced with a profound disconnect between himself and his roots. Let's explore how his inability to embrace his cultural heritage has left him feeling alienated. One of the most striking aspects of Prince Roy's life is his inability to speak Arabic. As a Prince of Oman, this linguistic disconnect stands as a stark symbol of his estrangement from his heritage. Despite being born into a family that carries the weight of Oman's royal history, Roy's lack of fluency in Arabic isolates him from the very culture he was meant to represent. Raised by an American mother from Alaska and spending much of his life in England, Roy's identity has always been pulled between two worlds. While his ties to Oman are undeniable, the cultural influences from his upbringing in the West have left him feeling disconnected from his roots. This inability to fully embrace his heritage goes beyond language. It's a deeper struggle with self-identity. His failure to connect with the people he was born to lead only deepens the fractures in his sense of self. The legacy of his father, who also battled personal demons, looms over him, amplifying the pressure Roy faces as he navigates the expectations placed upon him. Public opinion of Prince Roy has been harsh and unforgiving. Many view him as a figure who squandered the incredible opportunities granted by his royal status. His past mistakes, ranging from the tragic hit and run to his ongoing struggles with addiction and financial mismanagement, have left an indelible mark on his reputation. To the outside world, Roy's life seems like a cautionary tale of privilege gone wrong, a man who failed to rise above his flaws and the expectations placed upon him. However, despite the heavy weight of his past, the possibility of redemption is still within reach. His story is not entirely without hope. In many ways, it mirrors the experiences of countless others who have fallen from grace only to rebuild their lives. Redemption, while uncertain, remains a real possibility for Roy, if he can confront his demons, take responsibility for his actions, and make a genuine effort to change. The question remains whether the prince will rise from the ashes of his past or continue down a destructive path. But whatever the outcome, his journey serves as a stark reminder that no matter how much privilege one is born into, it does not protect against the struggles, failures, and hardships that come with being human. Roy's life, filled with contradictions, failures, and a glimpse of potential redemption, stands as a testament to the complexity of the human experience. As he grapples with the weight of his past, Prince Roy Al Said's story serves as a reminder that anyone, regardless of their status, can face the consequences of their actions and still have the chance to change, if they're willing to face the truth and take the first step toward redemption. If you found this story of Prince Roy Al Said fascinating, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe for more deep dives into compelling stories and share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.